Hello duelists, and welcome back to the channel. So today for you guys, we'll be showing you a Purrely deck. Now this deck has been seeing a good amount of success in the OCG, and there's a decent chance with the release of Cyberstorm Access that this deck is a top contender in the TCG. So I'm going to show you guys a primitive build that I currently am working on, which is very similar to the OCG list, explain kind of what's going on, and then show you how I would play out a couple of hands, because it's maybe not as intuitive as you would think. Before I continue, please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below about anything you'd like to see on the channel, and also go check out tsx1.com where you can use the code POTATO10 for 10% off on your sleeves. Great quality as always, so go check them out. Anyways, let's get into the deck profile. Okay, so this is what my Purrely deck is currently looking like. This is very similar to what the Purrely deck looks like in OCG. So, if you don't know what these cards do, they all essentially have a similar-ish effect, the 12 quick play spells, where they do some kind of very meh effect on the field, and then what they can do is you can discard a card in addition, and if you do, special a level 1 Purrely from your deck. Then each of the Purrely quick play spells also says if it's a material to Purrely, it gains an extra bonus effect, which is actually really important. So what are level 1 Purrelys? We got Purrely and Purrely Lily. So regular Purrely is the one you're probably using the most because it's not once per turn. If you normal or special summon it, you excavate the top 3 and add any Purrely spell or trap from deck to hand. So that's why you want to max out or almost max out on your Purrely cards. What that also does though is you can once per turn, per copy, reveal a Purrely quick play spell in your hand and special summon on top of it an extra deck monster that mentions that quick play spell. So each of the rank 2s will have a corresponding spell, which should be pretty intuitive. Beauty uses Pretty Memory, Happiness uses Happy Memory, and then Plump uses Delicious Memory. The only one that doesn't have a corresponding rank 2 is the one coming out in Cyberstorm Access, and that is Sleepy Memory. So Purrely Lily is the other new card from Cyberstorm Access that makes this deck good. And this one says when it's normal specialty, you can add a Purrely card from next to your hand except the quick play spell. This is a once per turn. Purrely Lily is a hard once per turn for both effects, so you can't abuse it in the same way. And there are plenty of non-quick play spells you do want to search, and arguably they're more important, so we'll get to that in a bit. And then also you can do the same play with the quick play spell. However, instead of using your hand, you're using the graveyard, so it's actually stronger because you're not burning resources like you are with the Purrely. So the non-quick play spells include My Friend Purrely, which is an insane continuous spell that you can pay 500 life points, reveal 3 Purrely cards, and 1 gets added to your hand randomly. So you just reveal 3 of the same and you get whatever you want, which is nuts. It goes even further than that, because if a face of Purrely leaves the field, or XYZ Purrely leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you add 3 Purrely quick play spells from grave to your hand. With different names, but that's nuts. Like, turning all your guys into triple floaters is insane. Now, the fact that it's once per turn is also crazy because it's a continuous spell, right? If they don't clear this, it's going to keep adding and searching, and it's just nuts. Card is ridiculous. We also have Stray Purrely Resort. It's like Spiral Resort, where it has a couple effects, not exactly the same, but similar-ish. And your opponent cannot target Purrely monsters you control with card effects. The turn they're special summoned is a big one. That means that Imperm, Mourner, Veiler really can only be used on normal summoned Purrely or Purrely Lilies. But half the time, you're not even normal summoning them, you're just specialing them straight up from the deck, at which point they just can't use those cards. It also matters because you can sometimes summon XYZs on your opponents. It also matters because if a Purrely XY leaves the field, summon level 1 from the deck, which is fine, and then it has one more effect that's actually good. Well, the other one's fine, but that's like more important is during the end phase, you can target a Purrely XY you control and attach any Purrely quick play spell from your deck to this material. So again, all those materials get bonus effects, and we can pick and choose a lot more easily, even if the rest of your combo gets disrupted a bit. So I'm going to quickly go over what each of these quick play spells do. Delicious Memory lets you protect from by battle, which isn't very important. However, it has a nice effect here to gain 300 attack and defense for each material attached to it. It's probably the worst one to use. However, it corresponds to the best XC you want to summon on your turn 1, which we'll get to in a bit because someone's Plump. We got Happy Memory, so for the happiness rank 2. This one chooses a card in the field and it cannot be shown by card effects the first time. Which is actually useful because Ghost Stoker is not bad against this deck and it could stop that, as well as just random situations. This card is pretty solid. And then obviously it has the special effect, And this is really important for going second, and that the material or the monster it's under can attack a number of monsters a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of Purrely happy memory attached to it +1. Next up is Pretty Memory. Each player getting 1,000 life points is whatever, but then its effect as material is really solid, where once per turn you can send another card you control to the grave, target a card your opponent controls, and attach it as material. So you can keep fueling up your XYZs or your Zeus, and then also it's removal, so it's fantastic. Probably my favorite one is Sleepy Memory. I think it nullifies the next battle or effect damage you take this turn, which is really not that important. However, what it does do is when it's material, you can, during your opponent's standby phase, draw a card. And the important thing here is these aren't like hardness per turns. All of them are per copy, all of the effects. So very, very strong. Last you'll see here is the Purrely Leap, where you can try to Purrely XD control and special on top of it from your extra deck, another Purrely XD with a different rank. And then it goes back to the extra deck on the next end phase, which means you can get your turn and the turn with the card, so not a problem. You can also banish it from the grave, target 3 Purrelys and shuffle it back so you have some resource game. Let's go to the extra deck and then I'll talk about the tech cards. Now, we got the 3 rank 2s here. We got Beauty, Happiness, and Plump. Plump is the best in my opinion, so I'm going to start with this one. Where once per turn you can target 2 spells or traps in your grave and attach them as material. This is fantastic because yeah, it lets you fuel big monsters, which you actually understand in a second. And it's quick effect if you have Delicious Memories material. So it should be, because you're usually attaching and using or summoning using Lily or Purrely, which will require you to use the one in name, which in this case is Delicious Memory. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material, and then do something else. So they all the rank 2s have that ability, and then they'll do something else as a bonus effect afterwards. This one says you can manage monsters in the field until the end phase, which is really strong, because essentially if you hold some quick play spells, you have triple Farfa, which is really good. Next up is Beauty. This is another one you can use as an interrupt. It's kind of the middle of the two, I think, where it's a little more aggressive and a little more defensive. So once per turn, target effect monster negate its effects, which is fine, and then obviously it's quick effect again if you have Pretty Memory this time. And then thrice per turn, you can attach to it. However, you can also change battle position of opponent's monster. We also got Happiness. I like this one a lot. 2k attack is pretty solid, but also at the end of the damage step of battle, you can add any Purrely card next to hand, which is great. However, if it also has Happy Memory, it halves the attack of a face monster in the field, which is great. But then think about it. Happy Memory now says they can attack again. So if they have a big field, you can have the attack, search, attack again, search. And if you added something like Happy Memory, you can now use it. Use this effect to attach, and then it can attack again. So you can clear an entire field and search a bunch of cards and get a bunch of material really easily, and I think it's super cool. Now you also get to, again, thrice per turn attach, and this one lets you bounce a spell trap card your opponent controls with hand, which is fine. I'm not even playing the other rank 7 one, because all it does is burn when it attacks, and that's not that good. We're just playing Noir, because Noir's insane. Noir says if you have rank 2 to 5 or more materials, you can place it on top as like a Zeus type summon. Then it becomes unaffected by your opponent's activated effects while it has 5 or more materials, which is nuts. Then the kicker is you can attach 2 materials from this card and target a card your opponent controls or in their grave and place it on the bottom of their deck. This is not once per turn, and this is a quick effect if it has level 1 Purrely's material, which it will. So this card is nuts. It's just towers that spin several cards. So you pretty much have to piffin out to this. And because it's unaffected, it's incredibly hard to deal with. So that's why cards like Herald of the Abyss and Kaijus are seeing play in OCG right now. Obviously, with like a Kaiju, you just, my friend Purrely, add back 3 cards, and then you have to like kill them that turn, otherwise you're going to have a really large hand. That's why we see stuff like Herald of the Abyss with Thrust being good. I'm also playing Draw because this deck adds a lot, so does Super Heavy Samurai, and it's okay already in the current meta, so I think this card is pretty good. And then I chose Veiler over the other hand trap just because I wanted to draw something that I could have in multiples off of the Sleepy Memory that would be good. So let me show you guys what a turn 1 could look like in theory. I think I forgot to explain it as well. The reason I was playing the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation and the Cobalt Eagle is because all these cards do require discarding something, which is fine, but if you can discard something of value, that's even better. So there's a lot of kind of contention in the OCG right now, what discard is the best, but what's been popping up more and more recently is this Rainbow Bridge package, because it gets 2 more cards, and it gets you the field spell, which means you don't have to waste any of the searches on it, which is fantastic. And then it also means like now you can get imperm, can't get mortared. It's good in the mirror. It forces a Rise Heart, forces Fenrir. It's a fantastic card. And then getting the extra Cobalt Eagle, which you can discard, is nice as well. So it's more discard fodder. And then we also play Cobalt Eagle because when you have it in hand and you have bridge as well, you can normal summon it and then use its effect to put it on top of the deck, which isn't great, but it does turn the bridge back on. Anyways, let's look at this hand here. So we have several options here. So you can Sleeping Memory here, and it's not a cost to discard. So if they ash you, it's not the end of the world. You're okay. And now we can discard to special. Now what we want to discard is something that I'm not fully sure what I'd like to do. So Thrust would be nice to maybe hold because you can get a Z barrier if something happens, if they hand trap you. But Droll's like just a really strong defensive card. And the rest of my hand is Engine. So I think for now I'm going to send the Thrust, and I want a special from deck. A Purrely. I'm doing this in the draw phase. That way I can play around Droll. Let's see what I hit. So I hit the top 3. Get a My Friend Purrely, which is really strong. Okay, so now we have a choice where we can play around Droll and keep playing in the draw phase, or go main phase and then risk getting Drolled. I think I'm going to go main phase here though, and I think I just want to go Purrely, normal summon here to see what I hit. And then worst case, we can make Plump attach to, and assuming we hit anything else, assuming we add a card, I mean we have to if we're resolving this, then we can attach it and we can make Noir for 5 materials through Droll, which is okay. Let's see, we hit, what's that? Delicious Memory, another one's fine. Cobalt Eagle. Ooh, Sleepy. So I'm gonna get Sleepy here. And then the rest go on the bottom of the deck. And now if we don't get Drolled here, obviously we can do a lot more. So I'm going to, what do I want to get off this? I'm gonna My Friend Purrely. I'll pay 500. And I guess I will reveal the 2 field spells. Or I can click Resolve Effect on DP, right? This, and the other one, the next one, and whatever I don't get, I'm going to add off of the Lily here. So I want the field spell that way I can play around Imperm. Awesome, I got the field spell. Now I can go. So hold on, I want to go Sleepy Memory again. I'm gonna discard this. I'm gonna get Lily here. And then Lily effect is going to activate. Let's me add one. I'm going to add the trap. And I'm going to use this effect. And I'm going to attach the Delicious Memory to make a Plump. I use this effect to attach to, so I'm going to attach both Sleepy Memories. And I'm not making Noir here because this can turn into Noir. Then I'm going to overlay for Robin Ensemble. So Ensemble is a card that I wasn't seeing in many OCG decks, but I like a lot. I guess I can put it in defense. And that's because it's a multiple interruptions in one card. So it gets 500 attack, and then if your opponent specials a monster, you can detach one to target it and then return it to the hand. So it's just double bounce, not once per turn. Yeah, and then set, and then end phase, I get to attach one from the deck. So I'm going to attach the 3rd Sleepy Memory. Attached. Now, in their standby phase, I get to draw a card for each of these. So I draw 1, 2, 3. You can also attach in the standby phase from the grave with Plump's effect. Why is it doing this? I'm going to attach the Thrust. And then I'm going to, in the standby phase, tag Level Up into Noir. And now, because it's a new XYZ, you can use the effect to draw again. So you can draw another 3 cards. Yeah, so this is why I wanted to keep the draw in case I didn't draw any other hand traps. Because if I get Kaiju something here, I want to make sure I don't die this turn. Because, yeah, if you get Kaiju, you add back 3 more cards, and you'd have like 10 in a hand. And you'd obviously be very okay for the next turn. The issue is you have to get to the next turn. But yeah, the point is, yeah, you can deck thin and then draw 6 cards. So, like, super rejuve in the Dragon Ruler format almost, but you also have a Towers. So, yeah, like this is really good. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. I hope you found this informative as to something that could be a very much top threat in the TCG in the next month. So get your Purrely cards now and get your Purrely counters now, because it's something I expect to be seeing all the way up until WCQ season. Anyways, peace.